What's up, Mavletic lovers and listeners, and welcome back to a new episode of Maverick Postgame. We hope some of you got to see some of our athletics this past week. If not, don't worry, because today we've got another full show for you as football destroys the Adams State Grizzlies in landslide win.
And men's soccer upset nationally ranked Fort Lewis.
Also, women's soccer continues their shutout streak.
And volleyball ends up on an opposite sides of the score for a split road trip result.
All of that and so much more as we move ahead into this recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. So with that being said, I'm your host, Jordan Browning.
And I'm Samantha Espinoza.
Let's dive into all the game-breaking stats, off-the-wall wins, heartbreaking losses, and in-depth analysis of our CMU athletics. Roll it!
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, I'm Samantha Espinoza.
And I'm Jordan Browning. Let's jump right in and take a look at all the Mavtastic action that took place over the past week here at CMU. The Colorado Mesa University football team played at home here in Grand Junction this weekend against RMAC opponents, the Adams State Grizzlies. Going into the game, the Grizzlies were 0-5 on the season and 0-3 in RMAC play. And the Mavericks were 2-3 on the season and 1-2 in RMAC play. Coming off the much-needed win last weekend in Golden, the Mavs were determined to put another RMAC win under their belt. Action began early in Grand Junction when senior defensive back Cash Bradley received the opening punt in the end zone and took it 64 yards up the field into Grizzly territory. From there, senior running back Aiden Taylor made 2 rushing plays to score the first touchdown of the night. After powerful defense through the Grizzlies' first possession, Colorado Mesa received the ball and again wasted no time by making a touchdown in 2 plays. It was redshirt sophomore wide receiver Trek Keyworth who caught the 36-yard pass from redshirt junior quarterback Cole Hansen and ran it to the Adams State end zone for a combined 91-yard touchdown. The first quarter action wasn't over there, however, as Adams State scored their first touchdown of the night and CMU answered with their third, again from Aiden Taylor. Taylor would get the next touchdown of the game, securing 3 before halftime, where the score stood at Mesa 27 and Adams State 17. The Grizzlies' score would stay frozen there, coming back from break, but the Mavericks would only increase, racking on 4 more touchdowns before the contest was over. Your touchdowns would come from familiar names Miles Newble and Brandon Belgrave, and newcomers Jake Sins and Will Reeves, who both recorded their first career touchdowns. The Mavs finished their attack on the Adams State Grizzlies in a dominant 54-17 win. As a team, the Mavericks succeeded the Grizzlies in all fields. Dominating the running game, Mesa raced for 357 yards to the Grizzlies' 169. Mesa also surpassed in the air, gaining 156 passing yards to the Grizzlies' 146. In total, the Mavericks scored 8 touchdowns for 513 yards. A landslide conference win for a team who's now on a 2-game win streak. Congrats, Mesa football.
The Colorado Mesa University men's soccer team took on number 9 ranked Fort Lewis College on Sunday, October 12th at Community Hospital Unifield, here in Grand Junction. Going into the game, the Mavericks were on an RMAC win streak as they just shut out the Adams State Grizzlies at home 2 nights before. Also going into the game, nationally ranked Fort Lewis was winless in the RMAC play, having 1 draw and 1 loss. It was a slow start to Sunday's game as the first half of the match would prove to be dominant in defense as both teams entered the second half scoreless. It was not too short after that, however, when senior midfielder Daniel Paulson received a cross pass from sophomore forward Matteo Bonelli and stuck it in the back of the net behind the Skyhawk goalkeeper. Then it was senior forward Manuel Ponce Casas who seconds later bicycle kicked the ball into the back of the net. Ponce Casas would do it one more time in the match, putting the Mavericks 3-0, going to the 74th minute of gameplay. The Skyhawks would then punch 1 goal into the sophomore midfielder Kane Castellan would answer it with the last goal of the match, with just 5 minutes left. The Mavericks would pull off the upset over nationally ranked Fort Lewis in a 4-1 win. As a team, Mavericks outshot the Skyhawks 3 times over, 15 to their 5. When it came to shots on the goal, Mavericks would continue to outshoot the Skyhawks by 5. Now the Skyhawks continue to go winless in RMAC play and drop 9 spots in the national poll. As for Mesa, this win means a win streak in RMAC play when men's soccer continues to go undefeated at home this season.
Ranked 23rd in last week's national poll, the Colorado Mesa University women's soccer team looked to extend their shutout streak at home against Black Hills State University on Sunday, October 12th. Going into the game, the Mavs were undefeated in conference play with 3-0. The Yellow Jackets could not say the same thing, however, as they were 1-4 going into Sunday's game. It was another dominant performance by the women's soccer team as the Mavs not only outshot the Yellow Jackets 23-2, but tacked on another shutout win for the 25-26 season, bringing the number to 7 total of the season. Of course, the winning goalkeeper, junior Keely Wajurek, secured the shutout, posting two saves and her 27th career shutout. The other names of the game came from 2 goal scorers, sophomore forward Parker Mayers, and other goal scorers, freshman forward Olivia Barrio Arce, and sophomore midfielder Savannah Miller. The Mavericks will stay undefeated at home for at least one more week as they road trip to New Mexico to take on New Mexico Highlands University on Friday.
Falling out of the national rankings the first time in over 3 years, the Colorado Mesa University volleyball team were hungry on the road for their spot back in the polls. The first game of the trip was in Gunnison, Colorado on Friday, where they faced the Western Colorado Mountaineers. Last week, the Mavs faced the Mountaineers at home and swept them in a quick 3-0 match. Mesa was intent on do it again. Western still had won a game over the Mavs since over a decade. After senior outside hitter Sadie Scottville racked up 13 kills in the game with freshman opposite Henley Madsen following with 11, Mesa took the match in another sweep, going up 10-4 on the season. This was Mesa's 25th straight win over the Mountaineers. Going into Saturday's game in Durango against the Fort Lewis Skyhawks, the results were not similar, however. After the 3 tight sets and another 13-kill night from Sadie Scoville, the Mavs just couldn't hang on and fell 3-0 to Fort Lewis College. The Colorado Mesa volleyball team is back home this weekend, taking on Colorado Christian University on Friday at 6 p.m. in the Brownson Arena.
This week, the Colorado Mesa community mourned the loss of beloved journalist Patty Arnold as she passed away this weekend. Patty had a very dedicated career and impressive career, beginning to cover Maverick athletics in 1985 as a reporter for the Daily Sentinel. Even after retiring from the Daily Sentinel, she began working in the CMU Athletic Communications Office part-time. Patty was not only a journalist, but a member of every team she covered through her commitment and passion. Patty was inducted into the Colorado Mesa Hall of Honor in 2013 and has won several awards for her work in journalism. This community will greatly miss Patty Arnold as she was not only a trailblazer in Maverick journalism, but also, more importantly, a friend. Read about the lasting impact Patty leaves on CMU in the article CMU Mourns the Loss of Longtime Journalist, written by Dave Yonke, Assistant Athletic Director for Athletic Communications. The link to the article will be in the description of the YouTube episode, and I encourage you to leave any memories you have with Patty. She will be greatly missed. Now, with that being said, let's recap some of the games and send it over to Caleb, who introduces us to a special story from the wrestling mat.
Thanks, Jordan. As we move ahead in the semester in Mesa Athletics, we look ahead to winter sports, which will be starting in a couple of short weeks. One of the brightest stars of CMU Athletics is the women's wrestling team. The women's wrestling team has 6 national championship appearances and looks to add more as their season is around the corner here in Grand Junction. 3-time National Wrestling Hall of Fame Colorado Coach of the Year Travis Mercado brings us a closer look at the commitment and hard work our Mavs put in for the season.
The women's wrestling team here at Colorado Mesa remains competitive. We approach the offseason in an opportunity to continue training and competing. A lot of our young female athletes are looking to make these age group world teams for the United States. So they approach that offseason in a training mode where they're competing. The off-season schedule for the women's wrestling team is really dependent on the individual. We have some female athletes that are really highly competitive that have made senior national teams or age group teams, and they want to compete in anything and everything as possible. Some of the athletes want to use this opportunity as a way to continue to grow and get some more competition experience as they go into their next collegiate season. I think the biggest change in our training is down in strength and conditioning, where in season it's a little bit higher intensity, lower volume, especially as we get closer to postseason, whereas right now the closest thing that I can do to match training age is make you bigger, faster, stronger, where some of the girls we're competing against at the US Open here in a couple weeks are going to be in their upper 20s, 30 years old, where we have some 18, 19-year-olds. How can I compare and get them equal to? It's in the strength and conditioning facility. So we change that up a little bit, add a little bit more volume. The off-season goals are always, for me as a coach, is to continue to put our student athletes on these U20, U23 national teams, right? Can have girls compete at the U.S. Senior Open and qualify for Senior World Team Trials and hopefully make a U.S. Senior National Team. As a coach, that's kind of my goal, right? I think that's part of the big success that we've had as a program overall. And ultimately, get ready for the next collegiate season, right? We finished 8th in the nation this year, another top 10 finish for our program here. How do we continue to get over that hump and bring home an NCAA team trophy? And I think this is the way that we continue to do that, is by competing in the off season.
The women's wrestling team was ranked 2nd in the preseason RMAC poll released today, with Simon Fraser picked to take first. We'll be keeping a close eye on the wrestling program, as they are sure to make another dominant season in Mesa history. And with that, I'll send it back to Jordan.
Thank you, Caleb. Now that we've recapped some of the action, it's time to announce our Maverick of the Week. Our Maverick of the Week goes to Megan Hodges. The redshirt senior from Aurora, Colorado, led the Colorado Mesa women's cross-country team for the 3rd straight meet to take the 13th place finish in the Lewis Crossover Invite in Romeoville, Illinois. She completed the 6,000-meter course in 21 minutes, 55.8 seconds for her new best personal time. The strong finish from Hodges helped earn the Mavericks 4th place out of 36 teams in the race and the 28th place in the national ranking. It's safe to say there's no slowing down for Hodges or the Mavericks anytime soon. Congratulations, Megan, for your outstanding performance. You are our Maverick of the Week. Now it is time for some closing statements. My closing thoughts are on the Colorado Mesa cross-country team. Both the men and women competed at the Lewis Crossover Invite in Romeoville, Illinois this weekend, and both put up impressive times. Freshman Clayton Wilson led the men's team, finishing 31st place in his Maverick debut. Another impressive Maverick debut came from freshman Daisy Lawland when she placed 20th for the women. The women's cross-country team is now 15th in the national ranking, the highest ranking Mesa's had since 2015. Congratulations to cross-country.
My closing thoughts are on both the men's and women's soccer teams, as their performance at home at Community Hospital Unifield must be the soccer team's good luck charm, as neither team has lost a game at home this season. Already being halfway through the semester and racking up plenty of home games so far, this is an exciting statistic for both programs here at CMU.
Now that we have recapped all of the action from this past week and given our thoughts, it is time to close the show. Thank you everyone for joining us this week on Maverick Postgame. I've been your host, Jordan Browning.
And I've been Samantha Espinoza.
Be sure to check out our YouTube Colorado Mesa TV for more games and updates. We'll see you next time for an all-new recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. Stay safe, Mavs, study hard, go to a game or two, and of course, have yourselves a Mesa amazing day.